Hello, Wazwar here, back with another video. Today we are going to be continuing our journey of 1 to 99/120 skill guides, making our way through all the skills in RuneScape. Today we are doing the Fletching skill. We'll be going over all the skill methods and what I recommend for you on your journey. On top of that, I need your help in choosing the next skill, so there will be a straw poll in the description of the video to determine which skill to do next. Vote away. As with all good 1 to 99 guides, we need to start with the useful items. The most obvious item is the Fletching outfit. It gives you 1% more XP per item equipped, and if you have all 5 pieces equipped, you get an additional 1% XP for 6% XP total. You can get this outfit by playing the Stealing Creation minigame and turning it in for 100 points each, which you will get a random outfit piece, but you can't get any duplicates. Or you can skip all that by winning it on Treasure Hunter. The Crystal Knife is a way more niche item that only works when making unstrung bows or arrow shafts, either giving you a 5% chance to double the amount of arrow shafts you get, or a 5% chance to give a strung bow instead of an unstrung bow. A worthwhile addition to the preset if you happen to be cutting bows. Borgali incense sticks sound good on their description, as they give you a 2% chance to get an unstrung bow when cutting bows, but in actuality they kinda suck. Due to the cost of the stick, it actually costs more GP to maintain the boost than it gives you an extra produce, so avoid using them. The portable Fletcher is the single greatest boost to the Fletching skill, as it has 3 main powerful buffs. A 10% base XP increase, which multiplies with all your other XP boosts, a 10% chance to save logs when making unstrung bows or crossbow stocks, and a 10% chance to save materials when making arrows or darts. All in all, extremely powerful. The best part is that we don't even need to place them down, as you can use other people's portables, and the Friends Chat Portables FC hosts their own. The Fletching Cape is a small buff for those that are already 99 and working on their way to 120 or 200 mil XP. Gives you a small chance to gain extra arrows, bolts, or darts when making those arrows, bolts, or darts, so you just save a little bit of money on those expensive methods. Now this next slide is probably one that you're going to get sick of, as it applies to pretty much every skill, and it'll be in pretty much every single XP guide. The 3 generic XP boosts are the Invention Perk Wise, which gives you a 1 to 4% XP boost, capping out at an extra 50,000 experience gain per day. Place that on an enhanced Excalibur so you can equip it while skilling. The Inspired Genius Archaeology Relic, which requires 118 Archaeology, gives you 2% more XP in Artisan skills, and Fletching happens to be an Artisan skill. Torstol Instant Sticks provide a 2% increase to base XP. This multiplies with every other XP boost, so it essentially saves you 2% of your materials and 2% of your time. Very, very, very good. One last thing before we get into the methods, and that's the quest XP rewards. Fletching is a relatively light skill, as you only gain 146k XP with quests, but there is one that you should really pay attention to, and that's Temple of Ikov. It has no Fletcher requirement, but gives 8,000 experience, meaning that we can do the quest at level 1 and get bumped all the way up to 25 without having to touch the low level parts of the skill, which for most skills in RuneScape are broken. For the methods, I've split the main trading methods I want to cover into 4 sections: cutting bows, stringing bows, making arrows, and making darts. We're going to go from least XP per hour to most XP per hour, so we're going to start with cutting bows. So for using these portable Fletchers, you'll want to configure it to whatever you're currently doing. So right now I'm about to record the clips for cutting bows. So what you want to do is make your left click option Fletch, and now I can click on here and it'll go right to Fletch, versus me having to go right click. If I wanted to string, I'd have to go there. So it's just a quick way to get yourself set up for Fletching. Now I can just click on the left and then highlight my magic shield bow, and now every time I go to Fletch it will be that. It takes about 50 seconds to complete an inventory of bows. All you need to do is load up your inventory, fill with the log you want to cut, and wait for the inventory to be done. Then load another inventory of logs and rinse repeat until you get your level. You can cut about 1850 logs into bows per hour, as they take 3 ticks per log. Looking at the table of all the available logs to cut, there really isn't any too appealing ones, as the XP per hour is very low, but in the 50 to 75 range it can be a good alternative for those that don't want to spend any GP on Fletching and would rather make GP by using those Maple, Yew, and Magic Shield bows. Stringing bows give the same XP per action as cutting bows, but it takes 50% less time, only 2 ticks instead of 3. and you have the ability to string 2 bows at once when using a portable Fletcher. The downside is that the AFK time is about 20 seconds, and even less if the portable Fletcher procs, and you need to bank more often. If you're able to bank quickly with presets, one can reasonably do about 20, 60, 50 bows per hour. And looking at the table, stringing bows is an even better option than cutting bows for both Maple and you, so it can help bridge that gap from 50 to 75 as mentioned with the cutting bows, but it's still considerably lower XP per hour than you could get with arrows or darts, so that would probably still be the preferred method for the majority of people. Making arrows is the first big XP boon, as these get high XP early and really zooms you through the levels. To make the process more AFK, you can keybind the headless arrow to a convenient keybind for you. For me, that's Z and then click spacebar afterwards. Then you don't need to move your mouse at all to get any fletching done. This can also be done with darts, which will be in the next section. One can expect about 2950 crafts per hour, which each use 15 arrows. So you're looking at about 44,000 arrows per hour. The simple way to do it is just multiply your XP drop by 3,000, and that's your approximate XP per hour. But we knock that down to 2950 as there's bound to be some loss throughout the hour. Looking at the XP table, they seem to hold the XP per GP at about 6 to 7 GP per XP until rune arrows, which crater down to almost break even. This happens to do with the fact that rune arrows have an exceptionally high alch value, while they're also really easy to make because they're only a tier 50 smithing item now. It should be noted that you'll want to skip adamant arrows, as broad arrows are considerably better as they are more XP per hour and less GP per XP, but you do need to spend 300 Slayer points to learn how to fletch them. Arrows are the perfect balance between cost and XP per hour in my opinion, and should be what the majority of people do. One thing to note about arrows is that the sell price is calculated based on what they sell to the general store and not the GE, and the general store is 153 right now for rune arrows. The easiest way to tell what an item's general store price is that it's 50% of its high alch price. Darts are to arrows as stringing bows are to cutting bows. You're able to make darts 2 times as fast, which means that you get considerably more XP per hour even though the individual XP drops are less. Past that, they are a reskin of making arrows. Just put your rune dart tip on your action bar, the convenient keybind before, and hit that button and then spacebar, and you don't need to touch your mouse. But with the higher XP comes increased costs, which makes it a tough decision between whether to do rune darts or rune arrows. And for those that are 81 and stuck in that decision, I would say the following. If it's DXP and you're already at the point where you can make 5 to 10 mil per hour from Slayer or PVM, I would highly suggest investing into the rune darts, as you can just use them and they're the same as arrows. But if you aren't planning on training fletching during DXP, then go ahead and just stick to the easy, cheaper, and more AFK rune arrows. They're especially nice now that Jagex upped the crafting limit to 20 from what it was at 10 before. You can now reasonably do something else while you are fletching. Before it was really, you could only watch like a Netflix show because you had to have your active screen on RuneScape so that you were able to click every 10 to 15 seconds, but now it's so much nicer. Now for the final part of the video, this is the critical path. This is going to be my suggestion on how I would train the skill if I was someone watching this video, and I'm going to take you from level 1 all the way through till level 99. We start off with the Temple of Ikov quest. I mentioned this near the start of the video, but it has no quest requirement for fletching, meaning you can do it as low as level 1 and it gives 8,000 experience. That knocks you right up to level 25, and we quickly go from 25 to 30 with iron arrows, only costing us 100k and getting it done in about 5 minutes. Then we do the same thing for steel and mithril arrows. It may seem like a lot to spend 6 to 7 GP per XP, but when you look at the amount of XP you're actually gaining, it's only 700k on our way to 52. And then once we get to 52 is when it really starts to pick up. Broad arrows are expensive and we're actually gaining a lot of XP now. So it takes us 6.5 mil in 1.5 hours to get up to 75. And then 75 to 99 is just a smooth sailing with rune arrows, 9.3 mil, and it takes just under 20 hours. So the total cost for this skill was 16.7 mil. and 21 hours to get there. And that can be even further reduced by stuff like pull score, wise, avatar, outfit, bonus experience, all those other things that I didn't take into consideration, as everyone just has their own setup of XP boosts they have. But this could reasonably drop off another 20 to 30%. So you could be looking at like 18 to 19 hours pretty easily to get a nice 99. So with that done, that's going to be the end of this video. Leave a comment down below if you'd like this style of how I went through the video. I personally like, and this is how I want a 1 to 99 video to go. So that's why I made it this way, but please let me know if you like this style. Make sure to vote in the straw polls for the next skill. It really helps me out to determine which one you guys want. And past that, have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one.